Welcome to Cat Chef Kitchen. And Cat Chef Kitchen is where we cook live every Sunday night at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And we cook a bunch of plant-based food, no meat, no animal products, and we just have fun. In this episode, we're going to be making homemade tortillas, some homemade vegan tortillas. It looks like we've got some chard. We got some carrots. We're gonna make tacos or burritos. See how big our tortillas come out. And I might make some more vegan ice cream at the end of everything. I think I'll start with, we just did vegan ice cream yesterday. That came out really, really good. And I almost ate all of it. There's still some left. And I want to try oat ice cream using oats as a base. But anyways, we'll get to that later. We're gonna start with, do we got vegetables? We'll start with the tortillas, I guess, and the protein. We have some black beans left over. We have quinoa, we have red lentils. What should we do for protein? I could make some vegan cheese to go with our tacos. I can do two things. I could do like red lentils. I can do a cheese sauce. Maybe I'll do some cheesy tacos. Some red lentil cheese. I always pull the wrong side here. So we always use red lentils for our vegan cheese. And red lentils cook really quick, which is nice. And the way I do red lentils, do a bunch of them. We're just gonna make a bunch of this vegan cheese. It's so dang good.
Hi, Brock.
Hey, Brock. First, I rinse the lentils by just filling the pot with water, and dumping it out a few times. Probably seen this a few times already if you're not new to Cat Chef. And this is just an easy way to rinse them. You can also put them in a colander or something that drains well, rather than doing this method and then just running water underneath them.
Hi, Charlie.
Hello. Hello, hello. Alright, this is good. Not about that much water. You can always add more water. We can always dump water out. There. I'm going to start with that. I'm going to put it on high heat, and I'll probably end up doing some black beans with this at the last minute too, just to have multiple protein sources and go with our cheese sauce that we're going to be making, our vegan cheese. I made some refinements to the vegan cheese, hopefully like some improvements. So, homemade tortillas. They're actually really easy. They are kind of time consuming if you do them very manually, but it's a really easy thing to do at home, and it's another one of those things where if you get tortillas in the store, there's like a whole page of ingredients, and you only need like 3 ingredients for tortillas. You only need flour. We're making wheat flour tortillas, not corn flour. We're doing flour, a fat of some sort. You can either use coconut oil or olive oil or some other oil, and salt. That's pretty much it. And sometimes I even leave the salt out and just do the salting at the end. Save my seasoning for the end, which I'll probably end up doing here. You're going to need a big clean surface to do your rolling on. on, and you're gonna need a rolling pin. I actually have used other round things. You could use any cylindrical device to roll out your tortillas. And tortillas are more traditionally made with lard, which is animal fat, which is not vegan. So our vegan version will be made with a plant-based fat. And I'm not gonna measure per usual. Just gonna see about how much flour we need. I'm gonna start there.
Brock says, what about using Crisco?
You can use Crisco. I avoid Crisco because, for health reasons. Crisco, I think, is a trans fat, which is because it has hydrogenated fats and hydrogenated fats. And this could have changed, so I don't know if Crisco has changed. But hydrogenated fats are, there's not good side effects to that. I'm sure most people have heard of trans fat, and that's like a really bad fat for you. And hydrogenated fats are fats that have hydrogen added to them to make them solid at room temperature, I believe. And just for health reasons, I try not to use that because it's less natural. It's not really a natural ingredient. It's a very highly processed ingredient. And having worked in the my first job was building hydrogen plants, steam methane reformers that take steam and natural gas and heat them up really hot together and get them so hot that it breaks the natural gas into, or breaks down the components into just hydrogen and basic elements. It's kind of an intense process, and just the idea of, are we adding hydrogen from like a steam methane reformer to our fat? That was a long-winded answer. You can use Crisco because it's solid at room temperature. You can also use olive oil. I've made tortillas with olive oil. It does not need to be solid at room temperature. I don't exactly know why. I think it has to do with texture, the final texture.
For you using coconut oil.
But I'm gonna use coconut oil, which, because it's hot right now, it's not really a liquid. I mean a solid. And I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of this to our flour, and I probably have about a cup of flour in there. And I'll probably add these are like teaspoons that I'm adding. Maybe like 2 generous tablespoons of oil. And I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. So we go for feel really. And what I'm looking for is the dough to kind of clump together a little bit and be kind of crumbly when I make tortillas. And I may need to, you could always add more of whatever, if it's too crumbly, you could add more oil, or if it's not crumbly enough, you can add more. Sorry, if it's too crumbly, you can add more flour. If it's not crumbly enough, you could add more oil. And usually I err on the side of not enough oil because I'd rather these be not super rich. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. So maybe closer to 3 tablespoons here. And this is definitely a hands-on thing we're doing here. Oh yeah, we need water for this. I forgot to mention that we need water to make tortillas. So it's tough to see, but there's these little kind of clumps that form of the flour. And that's just kind of what we're looking for. I could probably add more, but I err more on the less oil side. Because the oil, what that does is it makes the dough a little bit more tender, more pliable, and makes it last a little longer. You never want to store anything with flour, like wheat flour, in the fridge ever. Either leave it out or put it in the freezer. Flour stales most rapidly at like the temperatures that a fridge has. So it's not going to go bad, but it's going to go stale really fast. Adding more oil to this will keep it soft and tender longer and prevent it from going stale as quickly. Now I'm just going to add some water. You don't need a lot of water. We're going for a very dry, very, very dry dough. If it's too wet, it's just gonna stick to everything. Let's see if we can beat our 300 people that tuned in. Right now we're at 3, so we need about 100 times more people. Or, yeah, yep, 100 times more. And we are making tortillas. If anyone hasn't seen that yet, hasn't caught on to that. You don't need to knead this too much. The more you knead it, the more tough the tortilla is going to be, so we don't want to over knead this. That was actually just the right amount of water, I think. Pretty lucky guess. It's probably about... I'll have to add that in the recipe description and just copy what some other recipe says. There's a million recipes for tortillas online. I'm not really doing anything too unique here. I'm just trying to show how easy it really is. The lentils are getting close to done. If they're not done already, I'm just gonna let them keep going. You can't overcook them.
Brock wants to know why you spiked to 300 viewers yesterday.
It's a mystery. I don't know why that happened or how that happened. My guess is that this somehow got like featured on the Twitch homepage, and people just like clicked it and tuned in from that when they came on Twitch. But that was really fascinating. And a few people stuck around. We had like 50 after like 30 minutes of having 300, so I'm not really sure how it happened, but we're just gonna hope it happens again and regularly because people want to be here. I'm gonna make kind of small tortillas. These are about golf ball or ping pong ball size. I shouldn't talk about golf. I know nothing about golf. Mini golf though, that I know about.
I think I beat you at mini golf.
I think you did. Yeah, Autumn's a mini golf, the reigning mini golf champ. She's good at all like the athletic things, the things that like I feel like I should be good at. She beats me at, but it's good. I think I'm still slightly faster than her. Maybe just a little bit.
Irritating.
I think in a sprint she would win. She's got really strong legs.
A very short sprint.
A very short sprint. I'm just so slow.
I think anything over 50 meters, you'd beat me.
Alright, so I got my little dough balls. All prepped up and ready to go. I floured this surface just to prevent the dough from sticking, because like, again, these are gonna stick. Now I'm gonna heat up my pan. And you don't need any oil really in the pan, but there's some left over here. I should dump this because there's a lot of oil. I'm gonna put this safely into the garbage. Not down the sink, because you're not supposed to put oil down the sink. It's from our bongo last night. It's like the one thing I use disposable napkins for is cleaning out these pans. Everything else we try and use towels and reusable napkins that you can, and washable napkins. Don't really need any oil in the pan, and we'll see how, we want to get these as thin as possible. You can make them thicker if you like them thicker though, for sure. If you're into the thick tortillas. So make sure it gets nice and floury. And just roll it out. I'm actually not really good at this. So hopefully that makes everyone feel better. You don't need to be good to enjoy making tortillas and have them taste good. My tortillas usually look a little bit more like blobs than perfect circles. And like I said, I like them really thin.
For your pizza crust, is it a similar process to this?
Yeah, the pizza crust is pretty similar. It's almost identical, actually. I just leave the pizza crust maybe a little thicker. I haven't made pizza crust with the rolling pin yet, though. That's it. That's just nice thin thing. Thin thing. I'm just gonna put it in our pan and let that do its thing. And the pan's on a pretty high heat right now. It's still heating up. So that first one might come out a little weird and different because I put it in before the pan got real hot, but that's okay because it's still gonna cook. It's not gonna not cook. And it's so thin that you don't have to worry about part of it not getting done. And the key here is gonna be timing and working fast enough to be able to roll out new tortillas while one's cooking. I should have got my plate ready. Let's see. Get my little tortilla blanket ready. It's like you're putting them to bed. They're just gonna take a nap before dinner time. Get them ready. So we're gonna tuck them into a little sheet here. Prep some more of these. I'm gonna need to add more flour to my surface. Notice how the dough isn't really coming apart at all. If it was coming apart and cracking, it means you need a little bit more liquid, more water in your dough. And feel free to tweak this recipe as you make your own tortillas. Again, remembering that the more fat you add, the more oil you add to your tortillas, the more tender and soft they're gonna be, and the more rich they'll taste.
Would you ever add any like seasoning to it, or
Yeah,
spices and herbs?
I've added oregano and cumin sometimes. You could add salt, of course, too. I like to salt these at the end, though. You could totally play around with it. You can hydrate them differently, too. Like, I'm using water, but I'm sure you can use a different liquid if you want. Maybe like a vegetable stock might be nice to hydrate these with. Play around with it. I think I once made bread dough with watermelon liquid. I should make watermelon syrup again this year. I tried to make it last year and then forgot about it in the fridge and never ate it. And we're just looking for it to get kind of brown like that, and that's it. Nice and easy, and we tuck it in, and tortillas are gonna have a sleepover party. Let's see how many of these make. You can make them whatever size you want. You got big tortillas, little tortillas. You can have square tortillas. You can have diamond tortillas. You can cut tortillas into shapes. You can make like a dragon or a dinosaur or a heart. You can make a heart tortilla. This tortilla's kind of turning out weird. It's kind of fun. They're all like snowflakes. Each one is unique and special in its own way. Unlike factory tortillas, which are just all round and perfectly circular. Yes, it's a messy process. Whenever there's flour, you can see it bubbles up too nicely. Whenever there's flour involved, things tend to get messy. That's just a default. You just have to acknowledge that as a cook. If you're cooking at home and you've got flour, get ready to sweep later, or vacuum if you prefer. Ooh, sorry. Putting those to bed. This may get smoky too. I used to set off our smoke alarm whenever I'd make tortillas at home, which is can be a stressful event if there's animals in the house that don't like smoke alarms, or young children.
Brock says every tortilla is unique. Mr. Rogers meets Bob Ross meets Elton Brown.
No, Mr. Rogers is involved. I need a sweater. This is a big one. We're multitasking too. We gotta have eyes everywhere. I'm not really good at multitasking. I've heard that we actually can't multitask, that we just switch between single tasking very rapidly. And I had an English teacher in high school that used to say, basically, if you're multitasking, you're about as productive as you are as if you were on drugs. So he also discouraged multitasking. And it really is difficult, as I'm doing it right now. So you could, if you didn't want to multitask, if you want to do this less chaotically, you can make your little flat tortillas beforehand and have them ready to go, which of course I didn't do, because you guys got to see how they're done here. So kind of sounded like I kind of just passive aggressively blamed my viewers for why I'm not prepared, but that's not true. This is how I make tortillas.
And you said you don't need much oil in the pan when you're cooking these?
You don't need any oil in the pan to cook these, actually, because they just don't stick by default because they're so dry already. So you can do this in a totally bare pan. If you did put oil in them, they'd come out a little bit crispier, like chips. Like pita chips. If you take your homemade tortillas though and then fry them after you do this first part, you get the best chips you'll ever have. Fried flour tortillas make the best tortilla chips. They melt in your mouth. And I think it's because they have that fat in them, which corn tortillas don't have. And they're just incredible. They're the best chips. There was a place when I lived in Allentown, story time, when I lived in Allentown, Pennsylvania, called Cali Burrito, that served with their burritos both a little thing of chips, and it had both corn and wheat flour. And the flour ones were so good. That's all I wanted, just the flour tortillas. We're using all white flour. I tend to use all white flour because it's easier to digest. You could do wheat flour. If you do a non-wheat flour, you should use a tortilla press, which presses the tortillas into a shape instead of rolling them out. If you roll them out, they're going to clump apart because they don't have gluten. Wheat flour is really the only thing you can roll out very well, I believe. I love when they get little bits of the little bit of browning going on.
They cook really fast.
They're extremely fast because they're so thin and that pan's nice and hot. And they're a fun thing to do with people too, if you want to have a day where you just have kids cooking or friends that want to cook, make someone the roller, let somebody man the stove, and you got yourself a fun little family activity. Wow, that's a big bubble going on there. I'm gonna have to pop it to make it go flat. Yeah, you can watch them bubble up. It's really fun how fast it happens. Let's watch this next one. We'll wait for that one to bubble. It's gonna happen. It'll happen quick too. It's bubbling a little bit. It's not a super bubbly one. Oh, there's a bubble on the right side. There's one in the center now coming up. Woo!
Brock says, how hot is the heat on the pan?
I've been adjusting it. It's like a medium high. If it's higher, you're gonna get too much smoke. But you really do want it kind of as hot as you can get it, in a safe way though. That isn't gonna set off any alarms or cause any fires. Cat Chef Kitchen does not want to be liable for any fires. Anything like that. That would be bad. This one's kind of butterfly shaped. It's gonna be interesting. We're almost done. We've only got 2 more to cook after that one. Then we'll proceed with our vegan tacos. With a finale of oatmeal ice cream. Almost there. Done with the flour. Shirt. A weird side smile because my face still is kind of broken.
I'm gonna miss your side smile once you have
Side
a
smirk,
full smile back.
Maybe it'll stick. Maybe it'll stick. Great sound effects. Last one. turn the heat off. So we're gonna move over to the lentils next. Once I get the lentils done, I'm gonna do up all the vegetables. I might make one more little sauce to go with everything, so we'll have a cheese sauce and something else. We have some interesting fruits and veggies. Perfect. There they are. So we're gonna keep them all warm in their towel. I'm gonna stick them in the oven. I'm not turning the oven on. I'm just gonna stick them in the oven for now. You can reheat them just on the stove when you're ready to eat them if they cool down too much. But we should be fine. All right, lentils. Let's see how these are. They look soft. They feel kind of soft. Let's see if they taste soft. Mm-hmm. They're good. We're gonna make the whole thing into lentil cheese. I gotta scrape that a little bit better. This is a very useful tool. Little spatula, rubber spatula thing. Highly recommend it. Alright, that's how much of that we have. We're gonna need olive oil. We're gonna need nutritional yeast. Nice healthy. What is that? What just came out of our nutritional yeast thing? Little shaker here. A little brown yeast. That's sketchy. We're gonna just take that out. Garlic powder. Nice healthy dose of that. This recipe is already up on catchchefkitchen.com, but I've been adding just a little bit of turmeric to it. So I like what that does. That's a nice flavor I found. Now we got some onion granules because we had some weird onion. We're gonna need some salt. Gonna need some soy sauce. And some vinegar for that little bit of tang. And I think I got it all. You could add black pepper if you want to, but I'm gonna leave that out right now. work on my spatula flipping skills.
Do it again.
Little spatula flip. Oh, that black. That'll get me out of there. So all that burnt flour that just got out of there, not only does it add a bitter taste if I left it in, and it's not like the cleanest thing. Let me turn this off. But it also is carcinogenic. Burnt food has compounds that can cause cancer.
Brock says, are the two most important things in your kitchen the food processor and the cast iron pans?
Probably. The oven mitts too. Homemade. Love oven mitts. Loven mitts. That's what these are called. They're loven mitts. You can pay me the royalties on them later for all that you'll sell. Look at this creamy cheese. Alright, I gotta taste it. I need salt. And something else. Tanginess. Not enough tang. Not enough salt. Cheese is salty. So we need to make sure we get our vegan cheese kind of salty. It's not too salty. You can't. Once you go too far with salt, it's hard to go back. That's what I like about not following recipe 2 is it can come out a little different every time.
Your mom says don't forget Autumn. She's important too. For a kitchen.
Of course.
Important things in the kitchen.
She's very important. Like right now.
I'm important because I consume the food.
Yeah, what does it need, Autumn? Tastes yeasty enough, I think. Does it just need more like tangy and salty? More turmeric?
Sure.
More of soy sauce? Maybe more onion. Granules. It's like sand. Delicious oniony sand.
I've really learned from watching you. Oh. Go for it. I've learned from watching you cook to just start off with a little bit and then add more. You don't ever really add too much of anything.
No.
You're good at that.
It makes it. So many restaurants just, it's too rich. It's always too rich. I mean, that's why people like it, but that's why it can also be very not healthy. Just tweaking right now. What do you think? More olive oil, maybe?
It's really good to me. I don't
You
know
like
what.
it?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna add just a little bit more olive oil. Just a little dash. Stop too early there. Super creamy. Oh.
I think it's perfect.
Perfect. We got it. Nailed it. transfer this. Good cheese jar. Whoa. Look at that, just pouring right out of there. Whoa. Yeah, that thing. Oh, I'm just a little over. So this vegan cheese recipe is on the website. You can make your own vegan cheese with red lentils, and it is delicious. Super tasty. One of my favorite things that I make with that's meant to as a substitute to the non-vegan thing. And it's just good. Like dairy, I find gives me acne. I learned, and we're not supposed to really eat dairy anyways. Humans are the only animals that consume dairy after they're an infant, really. No other animal consumes milk after when it's an adult. It's kind of strange that we would do such a thing. It's kind of gross to think about milk too. That was really the thing that got me off it. I'm like, wait a minute. I used to drink like a quart of milk a day in high school. I loved milk. And it's kind of gross.
There's another animal's milk at that.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes it better or worse though. I could just lick the cheese all day. So good. Alright, I'm gonna move on. Sauce number 2. You said we have something. What do we have?
This?
Saucy. Carrots. Orange. We could do an orange carrot hot sauce. That sounds good. Let's do an orange carrot sauce.
I washed everything.
Perfect. Gotta go with the colors. Get the colors just right. Or a guac sauce. Green sauce. It's very mushy orange. Oh, but it looks so good. This is a local orange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this from? The neighborhood? Bailey.
Pro.
Yeah, who happens to be a pro. We found out that our avocado man that Autumn met in an alley that delivers avocados to a taco shop is apparently a pro skater. That used to ride for Consolidated Skateboards. He had his own board graphic. What was his first name? Something Bailey.
Steve
Bailey. I think he was even on the cover of Thrasher at one point. And now he delivers avocados. And
oranges.
And oranges and citrus. And just because we met him in an alley. Whoa. Let's taste this orange. Mmm. Oh, it's good. Good job, Bailey. I don't know if you grew him too. No, he's his farm, right? I think it's his farm. I'd love to have my own orange tree. It's really hard to get out of here, though. Kind of failing. No, that's not gonna work. I gotta move stuff. Too cramped. Basically just making orange juice right now. 'Cause I can't get it off the peel. There's a lot of seeds in this one. That's weird. The other one didn't have any seeds. Or maybe it did and we're in for an unpleasant surprise. Alright. Yeah, this is just squeezed. We're not getting anything out of this. Some carrot. We're gonna add chipotle to this too, because chipotle goes well with these things. And habanero, of course. We're just gonna do one habanero. Take it easy on the habanero and do the other one with the chard. Just making sure there's no weird brown stuff in here. Sometimes the seeds are a little brown. We'll throw in half the seeds. And some vinegar. Oh, yeah, you smell it.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we just do hot. So with hot sauces, my strategy is add bulk, like carrot, and that has flavor too. Adding something sweet is always nice. You want something acidic, you need a salt, you need an acid, you need bulk, and there's a whole lot of bad luck, so I gotta do that. And flavor. So sweetness, bulk, saltiness, and flavor. Chipotle. Too much of that. Garlic again. And let's see what this comes out. Well, that's going. Got this pan on. Put it on high heat to heat up. The olive oil in the pan. And once that gets hot, we're going to add the carrots and then the chard and then the other habanero. See what this tastes like. Whoa. Oh, that's good. It's intense. Hang on, I think we should film this. Where is she? Hang on, my hand. There we go.
It's good.
Oh, that was anticlimactic. I thought you were gonna be
intense about
more...
it?
I don't know.
Did you think it was really hot?
I thought it was kind of hot.
Maybe I didn't get a habanero chunk.
Yeah, maybe. It's just like, whoa, it like packs a punch to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Almost perfect.
It was perfect until I did that.
Bo has this magical skill to
Make
the perfect quantity amounts that fit into jars.
That would have fit. That would have been if I didn't drop the thing. So I do that the whole time. You would think I would know to freak this dang cabinet. Our struggle with our kitchen.
This is sad to me. Wasted sauce.
Yeah.
I was off camera, I might lick the
She
countertop.
probably would. Carrot. I like shredding carrot before adding it to things. It just is easier to just integrates more nicely than having these big chunks of carrot the whole time. I'm gonna do a quick rinse of this because we might use this for our real fast oatmeal ice cream experiment at the end. Definitely don't want any like habanero. I'm gonna be experimenting with ice cream so much now. It's summertime and we have an ice cream machine. This is kind of dangerous and exciting. I would invite everyone watching Cat Chef Kitchen right now to our home so they can have ice cream with us. If anyone wants to road trip out here or fly. It would be great to have an ice cream party in San Diego at Cat Chef Kitchen. The Cat Chef ice cream party extravaganza.
Brock says my G5 is still in the shop.
Well, when it gets out of the shop, we'll be waiting here. We'll have a festival. We can have a week-long cooking festival, and we can have just 7 days of Cat Chef. We can have a week-long workshop, a vegan cooking workshop. That's what we need to offer. We'll get like a nice property out in like the sequoias in the woods, and we could have just like a week-long. We could offer a week-long vegan cooking workshops, and just a very high-end, nice experience. This is Swiss chard. It's a nice leafy green vegetable, kind of like we got poppers. What would you say this is like? A little bit like a cross between spinach and kale, for someone that didn't have it before.
Yeah.
So imagine kale and spinach got together and had a baby. Swiss chard is maybe what that would be like.
Brock says count me in for the week-long Cat Chef workshop in the
Perfect.
mountains.
Perfect. We got our first participant. That would be fun. Gotta get enough hot plates for everyone. So everyone can cook and participate. Sweet. There's not enough cooking education in school. Just none. Like we graduate. You can graduate college and know nothing about how to cook food. I think we made the one cooking education I had was making applesauce in home ec in 6th grade. That's the only thing we ever cooked in school. And then in college I had a brief stint where I took Japanese culinary culture, but then dropped it because it was kind of just watching movies the whole time, which was very disappointing. But we did take a field trip to make sushi. But that was it. It was kind of lame. Like, I want to cook. I want to learn about the food. I want to actually cook the food. How can we not have a cooking class?
It should be part of health class.
Yeah. So much we don't know. And then we have these health issues. And it's like, no wonder we're not looking at our food. We don't know what our food is doing to us. Alright, we got our chard going. We got our vegan cheese. We got our hot sauce. We just gotta get our last minute beans going. Some additional protein. I was gonna do black beans, but we're gonna do Great Northern beans instead, which is white beans. We do utilize a lot of canned beans. They are super easy, and I'll try to do more dried beans in the future. I really like beans. You don't have to eat this many beans if you want to go plant-based. You can rely more on other protein sources. But for me, again, like I said, I don't do nuts. I don't do seeds really. So, and beans I don't have an issue with beans, so I use them a lot. If I had an issue with beans, I'd probably be doing more nuts and seeds. And more of, probably more wheat, more quinoa, for sure, like more quinoa, more nutritional yeast in things. For these beans, I'm just gonna do this pot, some olive oil. Just gonna heat this up. I kind of like how it went last time. We just kind of did our seasoning last bite. I mean, I don't know what I'm saying half the time. It's hard to see. I'm not multitasking. I'm single tasking, and it's not working well. But I'm proceeding anyways. I got one bean. That's every last bean I did. And I almost forgot habanero. I'm going to try not to touch the seeds and the inside of this because I have contacts in and I don't want to cry later. This is a random tip, but I don't know where this came from, but I just kind of thought of it as I was trying to kind of chop the habanero without touching things. Chopsticks are a great investment if you want to work on portion control. It's really hard to eat really fast with chopsticks. Woo. Add a little bit of chipotle. Not too much. Add some onion granules this time. Add some cumin and oregano. And bay leaf. Ooh.
Bless you.
Thank you. Turmeric, why not? Turmeric's really good for you. I've been hearing more and more good things about turmeric, so we're just going to throw that into this more often now. Turn that down. Just kind of simmer that now for a little bit, just so all the flavors can hang out together. And we're almost done. We got some avocado. We're gonna slice some of that up. Before we do that, I gotta quickly try this oat ice cream because I'm super curious. I'm grabbing the wrong things. Oat ice cream, we're going to quickly whip up some of this. I have some already cooked oats. Like fun.
Big on the bottom.
Big on the bottom. Big bottom. I'm just gonna transfer all this out of the way. Yeah, it's getting spicy in here. Not only do you need a mask for storage, you also need it for Cat Chef Kitchen if you're here in person. Slightly less chaotic feeling. I've been thinking about this all day. I can't not do this. So we're gonna add a bunch of oats here. So this is, again, this is just boiled oats, like regular. This is my breakfast every morning. I love cold oats, by the way. Oh no. All right, got some of that. And next we're gonna need, I'm gonna turn this off. If I can stay low. Don't forget that. We're gonna want coconut milk. This is the rest of that bit of coconut milk from earlier, from last night's episode. And then we're gonna see what consistency this gets us to. While that's going, we're gonna throw a banana in. Let's see. It's very thick. It's a good start. Let's just see what happens. We're just gonna go for it. I guess I wonder if I should make it a little thinner. No. We're just gonna do it. It's gonna be an experiment. Need a freezer bowl. Alright. Oh, I'm excited. So exciting. Sorry, the angle's not really good, but we have a huge cabinet that's in the way that we can't really do anything about. Once again, I have not taken the blade out, so it might clump down. out of here. I forgot to mix things together beforehand. Well, everything. I'm gonna add less maple syrup because there's a banana in there adding sweetness. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, so it's even less sweet than usual. And then a little bit of vanilla. Supposed to do this outside the mixing bowl, but I goofed. So, just in my excitement. I will say this lid is not very easy to do. I can't really. Ah, I see how it works now. Well, now that that's happening. So I'm excited about this because it would be like a low-fat ice cream and a high-protein ice cream. Because we're using oats as our bulk. It's just going to be interesting to see how it freezes. And it's low sugar because there's only a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, some banana. There's a lot of interesting things with that. So I'm super excited. And this is delicious. Sure, Autumn wants some. Now that we are done, we can assemble our meal. Avocados might be a little too firm still. Maybe we'll pass on the avocados tonight. Gonna wake these from their nap. Still a little warm. Got a bigger one here. And we're gonna do some cheese sauce first. This is our vegan cheese. Just really slather. You can feel so not guilty about this cheese too. That's what I love about it. Like, you ever want things like super duper cheesy and then like kind of feel bad because it's super cheesy? Well, this there's no guilt with. So just load up. It's just high protein packed cheese. We've got our beans. I gotta taste this too, I guess. This needs a little bit of salt. Protein. It's loaded up on the protein right now. Now we got some of this. Looking good. Maybe anything else we should add to this? Yeah, I'm forgetting. That's our taco. I'm gonna try it, I guess, now, right? There's something about a homemade tortilla that's just so much like more rustic and like raw and good.
Oh, the sauce.
What sauce? Oh yeah, the hot sauce. Duh, I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, this is gonna be... Now that was what it was. This is gonna take it off the charts. Wait. I think someone might bite here. So good. So good. Autumn. No bite for Autumn. She'll get her own tortilla. That's it for Cat Chef Kitchen. I'm sure you're very curious about this, but that's going to take 20 more minutes or something. So in summary, in conclusion, we made homemade tortillas today with coconut oil, just flour, water, coconut oil. And we made our vegan cheese, which is already on catchefkitchen.com, so you can go there for the recipe. Add a little bit of turmeric to that recipe to make it even more delicious. I feel my face is just kind of messy right now. We made an orange, carrot, habanero, chipotle hot sauce. That's phenomenal. We have some beans in our tortilla. This is like a protein-packed, a vegan protein-packed tortilla right now because we got our lentil cheese that has nutritional yeast in it. We have white beans that are adding more protein. We made it with wheat flour, which has gluten as a protein. We've also got our Swiss chard as our veg. Let's bring it all together, and our hot sauce is also kind of like our veg. And we have our ice cream going, our oatmeal ice cream, which I'm super curious about, which is just cooked oats blended with about I think it was like a cup or a 3/4 cup of coconut milk, or half cup of coconut milk. Somewhere between a half and a full cup of coconut milk. And vanilla extract and a banana. And I'm really excited for that because nothing looks like it's happening yet, but that's going to be a protein-packed, oh, and maple syrup, low sugar, all natural vegan ice cream, which is super exciting. So if you want to find out how that comes out, I'll do a post on Instagram, and I'll probably post it to the website too. I might have to refine the recipe more, because it's an experiment, but that's what it's all about, just experimenting. And that's it. So thank you everyone for watching and tuning in to Cat Chef Kitchen. We'll be back next Sunday at 6 o'clock Pacific time, if you want to join in then. We also will randomly do little episodes throughout the week occasionally. So subscribe if you don't already subscribe, that way you'll get an update if we randomly decide to go live one day and start doing something random. Like last night we just did some vegan vanilla ice cream, which was amazing. So
Brock says everything looks really good.
thank you, Brock. It all tastes super good. So we'll be planning on our week-long Cat Chef Kitchen vegan cooking workshop in Sequoias for 2021. And you can get our waiting list, our email list for that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to find you here again on our next episode.